Can we all take a deep breath together? When my mom was attacked and robbed, the first thing I thought about was, man, how can this happen? When my brother was robbed at gunpoint, I'm like, man, how does this happen? When I was robbed at gunpoint, I asked myself the same question. Why is this happening?
Maybe you have seen the videos. Asian Americans, many of them senior citizens, being targeted and often brutally attacked in public. Since the start of the pandemic, nearly 3,000 cases have been recorded and many go unrecorded. And now we have seen a surge of violent attacks in cities like San Francisco. Asian American activists and leaders have used their platforms to start a national conversation on this crisis. Actor Daniel Wu is among those calling for justice. Do you remember the first time you saw one of these attacks on video? What do you think?
The first one I saw was an elderly gentleman in San Francisco. He was pushing his recycling cart, picking up cans in the Bayview district, and he was attacked by a group of teenagers.
Hell no, I ain't helping this shit. I hate Asians.
And they're yelling racial slurs. They stole his recycling bin and then pulled it off and then beat him up a little bit. But then I started to see more.
You stupid. Okay. Oh.
Okay. He just assaulted me. This man had just assaulted me.
And more and more.
Oh my God. Get out of here. Bye, Karen.
What is happening?
Well, I think obviously, rhetoric spurred on by the previous administration when the pandemic started using, China virus, Kung flu, and all that kind of stuff has made Asian Americans a target to basically people who are racist and blaming coronavirus on Asian Americans when we are actually American citizens.
Kung flu. Every disease has ever came from China, homie. Everything comes from China. So that's disgusting.
Honestly, I spent 20 years of my career in Hong Kong. So I left the United States in 97 and I came back in 2017. And during that time I was away, I didn't have to think about racism. I went back to Hong Kong, I was with Chinese people and we didn't really talk about racism. Maybe when I was here before, it was, kept under the table. But now people feel that it's okay to just walk up to someone and yell at someone for nothing. And really what the last straw for me was seeing our elders being attacked in that way. In our community, I'm sure in the Latinx community, elders are revered. And to see them treated that way, such violent and senseless crimes, it was just, I couldn't stand it anymore. And so I had to really jump into this space and do something about it.
The Biden administration has denounced these attacks and signed a recent executive order to better track hate crimes against Asian Americans.
It's simply wrong. It's a stain on our national character. Every person, no matter their race, background, religion, or language they speak, deserves to be treated with dignity and with respect.
But some organizers are not waiting to take action. They are going to the very streets where these cases keep happening, including the country's oldest Chinatown.
All right.
How are you? Jorge Ramos here with you. How are you doing?
Hello, Jorge.
Can you tell me where you are and what is it exactly that you're doing right now?
Yes, we are in San Francisco's Chinatown, and I'm here with my friend Forrest from the San Francisco Yang Gang, and we are going to do a neighborhood patrol to make sure that our elderly and vulnerable of our community feel safe to go about their day. So I think what we're seeing is right now this rise of Asian people just standing up, fighting back and refusing to take this anymore.
I would add that the biggest thing about this recent string of attacks is that they're so inexplicable. There's no good reason behind them. There's no president saying it's a China virus. There's none of that. It's just people are attacking Asian people for money or just to attack them. So it's very, very hard to explain.
So what would you say to people who are watching this and saying, well, that doesn't affect me?
Like, this could have been anybody's grandmother and grandfather. You know, they're attacking the weak and the vulnerable. So if it's not gonna happen to you now, it'll happen in some other fashion or form unless we come together and stand up and fight for each other right now. You know, because all marginalized people, all minority groups combined, we are the majority. You know, so if we really want power for our communities, you know, and want safety for our communities, we have to, you know, come and support each other.
Thank you so much for talking to us. I know that you're about to start a patrol right there in San Francisco, so good luck with this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Everyone has downloaded the app, right, to use, okay? And, you know, we'll be giving out these. These are Chinese language about how to report hate crimes, you know, with resources back here as well, okay? And we'll also be giving out whistles to folks. Okay. Yeah, that's enough, yep. All right, let's get it.
人推人抢东西抢破，我们就是走来走去，就是我们是就是老百姓走来走去。
谢谢。
因为你明白了。
好，没关系。All right.
Okay, here.
We're all good.
So it's
Well, we were just in this merchant shop. She said that they've definitely noticed a lot of crime in this area, and she's had people, I guess, come into her store and put stuff in their pocket and run out. Shoplifters. She says that if we're going to be walking, since she's in a central location, if we could please swing by her shop at the beginning and come by at the end. 先生，我们在发这个，最近在华尔街有很多人攻击亚洲人、亚洲老年人，所以如果你有问题的话，这个小书里面是个说明书，怎么可以给报警，然后这个是送给您的礼物。And yeah, so I think they're becoming cognizant of you know what's going on, and they're noticing crime. You know, perhaps they just think or just my shop, right, or just someone shoplifting from my shop. But I think they realize they're fitting in this larger picture, larger narrative.
San Francisco's Chinatown is fighting to survive amid the pandemic. Now, the increasing violence is only adding to the community's struggles.
How you doing, man? Good.
From your shop, have you been seeing a lot of any kind of like crime or like people attacking the elderly?
Okay, actually, yeah.
You have?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I do. Right in front of me, right over here.
Right over here?
Just right over here.
When?
It was like a month ago or something.
Really?
Yeah, actually, that spot had been pretty hot though. I was sitting right over here and I saw there's a guy and they come out and they check the window and I was like, yo, you're over, and they said, it's left though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And I think like with a lot of because everyone's seeing like a lot of the elderly people being attacked everywhere, right? It's making people afraid to come outside to to support business too.
Yeah, actually, we need the local to support.
Yeah.
Actually, the local right now they don't.
Yeah.
So you're saying if less people come here, there's more crime because there's less foot traffic, and there's more crime. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, listen, if you see anything, or if something happens to you or someone you know,
message him immediately.
Send me a message immediately. I'm here locally. We can get someone to come down.
Oh, okay.
Guys, let's say hi.
Kevin,
How you doing?
how are you?
Oh, okay. Give me one. I need a whistle.
Yeah.
Want a
Okay.
whistle?
Yeah.
Here, take them both.
I want one only.
Just one?
One only for me.
There you go.
Thank you guys. You guys did a good job, protecting the community and the Asian communities, the Chinese community. We needed that. Because right now we need someone to step out and do something. Because it's getting worse and worse. If we don't stop, just keep going.
unfortunately, we're so used to racism against African Americans and Latinos, and now we're seeing it against Asian Americans. Do you think that this is in part because of the growing influence of the Asian American community?
Yeah, obviously. I think the newer immigrant population is Asian, so that there tends to be some kind of like, you know, the people that are anti-immigration, you know, hatred towards them, but also with geopolitics as well, with the relationship between China and the USA kind of fading a little bit during the Trump presidency. That also spurred it on as well, because there was a lot of hate coming out of Trump's mouth about the country of China, but a lot of people relate that to people, and that's a different thing. What's happening between two countries and their governments is not what the people are feeling, and so people need to be able to separate that. But I think it's a combination of those two things that have exacerbated the racism, and I think just racism in general has gone rampant in this country in the past few years, and so everybody is feeling the brunt of it, every person of color.
Denounce the disgusting acts of racism and violence that are taking place in our communities and against the Asian community here in San Francisco.